Welcome to this broadcast of the virtual SpaceTV, brought to you by Hobby Space and Binary Space. I am Amanda Bush, your host. Please note that this show is experimental and was generated automatically by software without human interaction. The launch on Wednesday, August the 24th, of a Russian Progress vehicle carrying supplies to the International Space Station failed because its third-stage engines for some unknown reason shut down too early. This sent the Progress module crashing into Siberia. The failure does not cause an emergency for the station, where a crew of 6 is currently working. There are sufficient supplies to maintain the station for several months. However, plans to send a new crew of 3 to the station in September will be postponed since the Soyuz crew delivery rocket uses essentially the same type of third stage that failed on the Progress rocket. 2 more Progress cargo flights were also planned for this year. Previous problems with Russian rocket systems have been solved in relatively short times, so there is optimism that this too will be solved and launches will resume without a long delay. If the delay is longer this time, there are some alternatives for cargo. The European HEV cargo system, for example, is scheduled to make a delivery in February next year. A SpaceX Falcon 9 Dragon system is also set to make its first test flight to the station coming December. It now may carry some cargo. If this test goes well, regular flights would begin in early 2012. An Orbital Sciences cargo delivery system is also set to start operating in 2012. There is currently no alternative to the Soyuz, however, for crew transport. It will be at least 2 to 3 years before a U.S. commercial transport system will be ready to take human passengers to the station. 3 of the current station crew may come home within the next month or 2 via Soyuz capsule docked to the station. The remaining 3 could stay for several months while waiting for the rocket problem to be solved. One of the teams pursuing the NASA Commercial Crew Launch Services contract is Sierra Nevada Corporation, or SNC. SNC is developing the Dream Chaser rocket plane that would launch on an Atlas V rocket with a crew of up to 7 to the International Space Station. It would then return to Earth for a runway landing. The Dream Chaser's design follows closely to that of NASA's HL-20 lifting body, which in turn was inspired by the Soviet Bor-4 vehicle, tested in the early 1980s. It will have 2 hybrid rocket motors similar to those that powered the scaled composite Spaceship One vehicle when it won the X Prize in 2004. The rockets allow the Dream Chaser to have safe abort options all the way from liftoff to orbit. SNC will carry out high-altitude drop tests of the Dream Chaser in 2012. The company believes the Dream Chaser could be ready for crew transportation by 2014 with sufficient funding. The Voyager 2 spacecraft has now been traveling for 34 years and is over 14 billion kilometers from Earth. It takes a radio signal over 26 hours to reach the spacecraft. Jumping ahead of Voyager 1 in the launch queue, Voyager 2 lifted off in 1977 and flew close by Jupiter in 1979. During its brief encounter with the gas giant, the spacecraft made a number of discoveries, including 3 previously unknown moons and volcanism on the moon Io. Like a marble hitting a non-rushing bowling ball, Voyager 2 was able to gain enough energy from its flyby of Jupiter to obtain escape velocity from the solar system. Furthermore, the trajectory of the probe was carefully planned to allow Voyager 2 to complete a grand tour of all of the other gas planets, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, making major discoveries at all of them. Voyagers 1 and 2 are now in the Helios Heath, where the Sun's solar wind meets the interstellar medium, slows down, and becomes turbulent. In 2015, Voyager 2 should reach the Heliopause, where the solar wind comes to a complete stop. Both spacecrafts are still operating, and their radioisotopic power supply should keep them working and transmitting data to Earth until at least 2025. By that time, they should have left the Heliopause and reached interstellar space. Bon voyage to Voyager 1 and 2. I would be pleased if you attend again the next time, around mid-September. Bye.